Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm showing you guys how to measure the load on the copper, 600 amp, 3-phase copper service we have here for our 1 megawatt transformer, which is right over there. It's a little bit different on the 750, but today we're going to be going over the 1 megawatt gear. If you think that's interesting, you know what to do. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Go to cryptollc.org if you want to set up a GPU ASIC mining farm. We have 2.2 megawatts available for hosting as of right now, so you can jump in on that immediately. It is available right now. Go to cryptollc.org. Before we get started, Bitcoin saves your wealth and Jesus Christ saves your soul. All right, so to measure the load, you use this special tool here from Fluke. You can use these claws here to measure just a single copper going in, such as this one here, A, B, C, you know, black, red, blue. That's for the claw. Now, if you wanted to measure multiple coppers at the same time, meaning, well, usually just two, because you got two parallel runs going into each leg, then you use this tool here. You set it to flex A, and here is the load. 594 amps are on this leg right here, which is leg C. You can see that it has two parallel runs. So this is 600 amp copper, two parallel runs going into each leg. Then see the red, that's B, and then the black, that's A. So A, B, C. So on C leg, I have 593 amps as of right now loaded. So it's pretty much fully loaded. To change the leg, you would undo this clamp here, bring it up. I'm doing this with one hand, by the way. Bring it up here. And this is just measuring the magnetic field. All right, so now I have it on A. It's 597. Now B is a little harder to get in there. I already measured it. It's 582. So 597, 582, and I think it was like 593 for C. So you plug those numbers in, then you multiply it by whatever your gear is set at. I think this one is set at 130. So you multiply that by 130. There's a little math you can do. And then you'll know exactly how many watts this panel is consuming. So this is panel P1, 600 amps, 3-phase, parallel run, 2 runs. You're running 2 parallel run because you're saving copper. Instead of running big, thick copper gauge at 600 amps, you know, each copper, you're basically running 2, technically at 300 amps each, but as a combination, it handles 600 amps. So that's why it's called a parallel run. It's cheaper to do it this way because you're saving copper. It's cheaper to run 2 copper 600 amps than it is to run 300 amps, than it is to run 1 600 amp, because it'd be really, really thick and it's a lot more expensive. So this is a cheaper way of doing it. That's why a lot of these gear, the breakers, you can see most breakers come with the ability to do parallel runs or even multiple runs. You can see these ones here. See how it's set up? Just like that. So they do that on purpose, allowing you to do multiple runs. Now for the P5, this is our last panel. It is only 200 amps. And you can see it is not running parallel runs. It is running just a single run. And again, it still allows you to do parallel, but we don't need that because it didn't make sense financially to run 2 runs parallel because it's only 200 amps. It's more economical to just use 1 copper per leg. Now, let us get rid of this, and I'll show you how to use the clamp. Okay, so for the clamp, set it to A, like that. And you put it on the leg we're measuring. We have 185 on leg A. Then we have 196 on leg B. And 196 on leg C. So you can see that this panel, P5, is fully loaded as well. Fully loaded. basically no more, available amps. There is a little bit, I think it was on A. There's a little bit there, so you could put maybe some single phase electronics on there. We don't need to do that. Plus, you know how for miners, those, for the people watching this video, the miners out there, you know that miners fluctuate, especially the S19 Pro series. They fluctuate, the fan speed fluctuates, the wattage usage fluctuates. We noticed that it's not as stable as the S19J. The S19 Pro kind of goes up and down 100, 200 watts. There, up, down, just randomly at different times. So for this 1 megawatt, most of these miners are S19 Pro. They're not the Js. The Js are more stable. The Pros kind of fluctuate, which is not, bad or anything. They just kind of go up and down, which is okay. But that could explain some of the fluctuations. So if I remeasure A, B, and C in 20 minutes, there's a very good chance that it'll reverse. There might be more load on A, less on B, less on C, or maybe all three of them are at 198 or something like that. So they kind of fluctuates and jumps around. Now, same thing for these panels here, for panel P4, P3, P2. They're all 600 amps, all parallel run, and they have the same issue. At random times of the day, they would go up and down, maybe by 10 amps, just up and down for no reason. It's not an issue, I would say. It's not like a major issue or anything like that, but it is a little bit annoying because when you're measuring it, you have to get averages. And if you're looking for averages, it's going to be a little harder. So you have to kind of measure it at different times of the day, measure it at different days to get yourself a better average. And because of that, and now it's a little more stable when it's colder outside, when it's like 40, 30 degrees. It is colder outside, it's more stable, you can measure it more stably, but when summertime comes around, then the S19 Pro series has more aggravated issues. Again, not a problem, it's not a problem. They're good miners, they mine really well, they don't break, the hash boards are great, everything's great about the S19 Pro series, other than the fans. The fans on them are not that great, they last for like a year and then they die. But other than the fans, which are like cheap parts you can replace, other than the fans, it's a great miner. It's a good miner. So if you have a chance to buy yourself some S19 Pros, I'd recommend you go for it. But obviously S19Js are a little better. So you should go for those if you have that opportunity. So yeah, so that's pretty much how you use this tool. It also has other features on it. We don't really use that much. Very rarely. You can check the voltage. Special plugs or ports there. Plug it in there and you can then check voltages. Also useful when you need to check the voltage on a load coming into a hash board, or maybe voltage just leaving a PSU. You might have like issue with a PSU and you don't know what's going on with it, so you want to check the voltage to see actually it's getting 12 volts, and it's not getting something else or whatever. It's getting, it depends on the PSU obviously, but it's getting the voltage it's supposed to get. It's actually getting that, and then you know that, okay, the hash boards are actually getting the proper voltages, so it must be an issue somewhere else. So that's also one, another great feature of this tool is to check voltages. All right, well, I hope you guys liked the video. So if you guys are looking to measure amps, especially if you have parallel runs, get yourself one of these flukes. It's a good tool. You do not need it if you are only measuring 1 copper at a time. There's a cheaper version of that tool you can use for 1 copper. The Flex tool is for parallel runs. All right, well, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys like it. Until next time, bye.